सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी
देवकी
परमानन्दं
परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे
जगद्गुरुं
जगत्
हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Anything? Yes, please. Yes, anybody? If you can recollect anything that we saw last. We form the link and we move ahead. Yes? Yeah, Chitraji?
I'll go ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
So we saw the inverted cosmic tree concept, where Krishna says that explains about that tree, and we saw how the tree looks. The roots are above and the branches are below. So it connects the material and the higher planes is something that we saw. And there's no beginning or ending some for this, and it's not conceivable. Uh, so, in order to escape from the roots of this tree, detachment is the weapon. With firm detachment is another thing that we saw. And I don't know if I told the roots are connected to the karma bandhanas of the Manushya Loka. So,
Yeah.
in order to escape from the roots, detachment with firmness has to be practiced.
If you
And
don't escape, if you don't escape, what is going to happen? The next shloka it says that the person is trapped for how long?
forever.
Forever, isn't it? So attachment is a permanent bandhan. We don't realize it, but it traps us. Only way we can be free is with asanga shastra. It's called a weapon. Elsewhere, detachment is called freedom. Here we see it as a weapon. Yes, please.
So we also saw that, in addition to what you said, the goal has to be to realize the divine and surrender to Him, because only then we can free ourselves from this birth and death cycle. And it's also that it is the amsha of the eternal supreme that is present in all the living beings. And the entry of the divine to the mortal Sharira happens via portals that he creates and takes it away while leaving. And the Panchendriyas are utilized by the soul, and it enjoys the sensations. And unrealized beings don't realize the presence of the divinity within them. Only the yogis can understand this what they saw.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, Chitraji. Hari Om. Fine, just muting. Thank you. So this Ashwatha tree, it's an interesting metaphysical concept. It is like a tree that is connecting each and every one of us. We can call it, how are we all connected? That way, when we were inside our mother's womb, we were connected through umbilical cord with the mother. Yes, but that was cut. Again, that also was a detachment only, isn't it? Our janma also happened with detachment. Our life also, we will have to learn detachment, otherwise we will get trapped. We're all connected by consciousness. And this consciousness is the divine consciousness. This is what Krishna is saying. It is this consciousness, when it exists inside of a person, that person experiences the miracle of life. Jivatman, that is there because the divine is there. And then what happens? Gata Pran. It is the Sharira without the Prana, without the divine. That is the existence. So what is happening inside? Well, the eyes, the ears, the nose, all the indriyas are utilized for a life experience. Say for some reason I lose my eyesight. Will I cease to exist? No, isn't it? I have a friend, she's a journalist. She's got She is not able to see, but her articles, nobody, when they read that article, nobody can understand. In fact, I also didn't know because I did not know her first. She had just contacted for some interview and it was such a nicely written article. Then afterward, I thought I'll reach out to her and I contacted and I appreciated. And that was when I realized that she cannot see. I learned it only later on. But you see, she has written about sounds, she's written about things. It was a telephonic interview, but she said, give me a picture of everything, what's around you. That time I didn't realize that she cannot see, but the way she visualized it, it was so beautiful. I never felt anybody else do that. This aspect, these are all Indriyas. Indriyas are what? They are just our outer aspect of our full existence. During COVID, some people lost the taste of what we lost the sense of taste, isn't it? That's it. Everything is gone. Life's meaning is gone. So many reactions came up. I cannot taste anything now. How can I do? Or sometimes when people get diagnosed with diabetes, oh my God, this is the worst disease. Hey Bhagwan, what great sin did I do? And all these kind of questions come up because they attach everything to this taste, something like that, Shruti. But these are all Indriyas. We are something beyond this. These are all what are outer IDs, isn't it? Today I'm working in this company. For some reason, I don't like that company, or for some reason, the company does not like me. This situation will change, isn't it? Then I'll go elsewhere. But that does not mean I will cease to exist. And I cannot be defined just by my outer job or my outer purpose. I'm something more than that. I'm not just my profession. Because then when you lose your profession and you don't know, it's like a fish out of water, no? That is why young Adishak Shankaracharya was asked, who are you? He said, Mano buddhyankara chitta ninaham nacha shrotra jihve nacha ghrana netre. How is this possible? I am not my eyes. Yes, I am not my eyes. They are a part of me. But I am not them completely. I am something higher. I got the experience of not having a voice for a good period of time because of voice abuse, overuse of the voice. And then suddenly there was no voice coming out. So how did my days go? It went on normally. One way it went better. I just had to say I can't talk. I actually enjoyed it. I would just have to say, and my staff enjoyed it more because I'm not going to shout at them if they make a mistake. They really had a gala time, but unfortunately for them, now it has got restored. So I continue. But these are all outer aspects. We don't have to attach ourselves too much. Krishna is saying that one must recognize this, and this allows us to recognize that divinity that is inherent inside of us, that is there, so we are alive. If it's not there, what will happen? All our dreams, all our aspirations, all our plans. We made such great plans, like that Kavali which says, "तूने क्या बनाई, तूने क्या सजाई, सब किया है तो उसने, तूने बातें बनाई." That's all you have done. You've made up stories. I am so and so. I worked in this organization, and it was because I worked in this organization that this organization went ahead. Otherwise, it would not have. Engineering, mechanical engineering field, what do we say? We'll tell other engineers, no, I worked at this plant and I increased the net production from 5.56 metric tons to 5.57 metric tons after 30 years, after 20 years. Is that only your existence, or is that a part of your existence? We must understand that we are something higher than our outer self. Otherwise, people get too attached in a Rajasic manner. Now that we know the gunas, we can talk about them. So, in a Rajasic fashion, people just associate with everything. I'm doing work, very restless. But the moment that quietude is gone, I mean, that work is not there, that person is absolutely frustrated. While working, I can say I'm important. I can make people feel I have control, I have power. But suddenly when that goes out, the person is in trouble. They said, no, warrior, peace confuses the warrior because the warrior knows how to fight. At the time of peace, what should I do? Who am I going to slay? What am I? Because that is the Swabhava, but not every warrior. That's what Krishna is training Arjuna. Yeah, but our Arjuna is confused even in war, not in just peace. So everybody can have confusion at any time. That is also a lesson we can understand, even while doing duty or when you have no duty to do also. Both times confusion can come. When can you overcome that? When you become quiet. Oh, no, no, I can't do my job. I can't do my job. I'm not able to do anything. It's all right. You can take a pause. You will wake up. You'll, when the time comes, you'll be able to do it. So that aspect we must realize. But those who are in confusion, those who are in delusion, they don't realize this coming or going. They're not able to understand the presence of the divine because that has to be seen with the inner eye or the jnana chakshu. That is what Krishna is talking about. Who gets the jnana chakshu? Somebody who does sadhana, somebody who becomes conscious, somebody who rises, rises above the pull of the indriyas. That person's buddhi gets awakened, that person's prajna gets awakened. Such a person can understand. They say, Yaha pashyati, saha pashyati, isn't it? He's able to see, yes, divine is there. यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्य कृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः. The indwelling self, they recognize and observe. And so the yogis and the saints strive to know and serve. Yes, they recognize the divine, they just don't only recognize, they say, I want to be available for the work of the divine. That is my only preoccupation. I want to become the nimitta. Any place, any time, any kshetra. Krishna, please give me some work. That is the call. That is the call of the seeker, call of the bhakta. And they want to serve the divine. They aspire, they pine, they sincerely seek, and they also serve. It's not just on an emotional level. Because where is the Kshetra of the divine? Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata, as Krishna tells. There's no Kshetra which cannot be the divine. So only you have to be available. Like that means there's a lot of vacancy, isn't it? In the divine plan. It's not like it's Kalyug quota, open for everybody. Everybody has got chance. Problem is nobody's applying this because either they don't know there is an opening or for some reason they feel it's not profitable. Whatever it is, the yogis don't think like that. So the yogis always, their actions are towards the betterment. But to the ignorant, this truth is not known. For somebody dwelling in ignorance, this truth is not known. For beyond the material, they have never really grown. Somebody who is ignorant, that person will not see the truth. Why? Because they have never gone beyond the pull of the indriyas, isn't it? They will say, you have to do like this, you have to do this person has done this way, that way, and that's all. I remember one veterinary doctor talking about, I have seen animals, you see, we are also animals only. When we raise animals, they are also growing and progressing. We should also do the same thing. This is something which there's no difference between human beings and animals. Is there a difference between human beings and animals? Or there is no difference? Anybody? We have something, no? We have mana, we have chetana, we have something which is a little more higher. So there is something more to our existence, which actually who can think? Only human being can think about the origin of humanity or origin of the world or what is the purpose, what is the direction. We have something which is the mind. So the mind has to be used. But who will use the mind? Who has first driven himself or herself out of the pull of the indriyas, isn't it? Otherwise, mind is the slave of the indriyas. Drunkard will dream of which great heaven. What is the heaven of a drunkard? Unlimited supply of alcohol. That is all, isn't it? And there's no side effects of that, according to that person. Because a dream will never be higher than that because the drushti or this my sight is very myopic. They need to have the jnana chakshu, they need to understand. That is why it is sometimes we should pray, let everybody find their gurus, let everybody find their direction. Then the guru will show the bargain, no? Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri guruve namah. Let the gurus start making eye camps everywhere. and start opening en masse, like we have free eye camps, no? Something like that. Because then the higher realization will come. Otherwise, one will not be able to see beyond that myopic drushti. Krishna goes on. He says, Yadaditya gatam tejo jagad bhasayate khilam yat yacchagnau tat tejo vidhi mamakam. For it is I. Oh, sorry, for the entire cosmos, it is I who am the light, illumining the creation. I set the world alight. The sun, the moon, and the fire, I verily ignite. No, all that is radiant to be only my might. So these are all what we call heavenly bodies. They are brilliant. The Surya, the Chandra. Chandra is reflecting the light of the Surya, and Surya is emitting some light. But Krishna is saying, it is I am the one who is powering both. I think we've all heard of the Gayatri mantra, isn't it? It is about the Surya only. Surya in the sense, not just the physical sun. Sri Aurobindo has one more mantra, which is called the Sri Aurobindo's Gayatri mantra. Om Tat Savitur Varam Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepayet. By that light of illumination, the truth gets manifest. I focus, I meditate upon that. Savita Surya, the sun which is powering the physical sun. It is something higher. What is the sun in the Rig Veda? We've called the Adityas, isn't it? Well, this Aditya is more than just the physical sun. And this is something Krishna is saying, it is I. I am that light of illumination, which is, this is actually very beautiful in our Vedanta or our Sanatan Dharma or our philosophy, because we have all been taught art is one direction, science is another direction, philosophy is different from applied practical sciences, all of that. But in the ancient ones, all were connected, each of them. We can probably understand. If we are able to recognize the divine sun in the physical Surya, that will again lead to another awakening. But for that, we will have to experience, we will have to understand. Just simply, Krishna says, all that brilliance, all that treasure is my light. That's why so many offerings are done in the morning, isn't it? Looking at the Surya, people pray in the mornings. They offer even arghya and all. Why? Because we want this water to somehow magically go and cool down that sun and reduce the anger of that sun on us. It's not like that. But we are offering because we are consciously recognizing Bharat, we are lucky. UK, there is no, the sun never sets in the British Empire. Is to say nowadays many say that there never rises only. Because here in UK you rarely get to see the sun. And my friend was saying, I feel depressed because I'm not able to see the sun. He actually searched for images of the sun so I can feel better. That's what he did there in UK. Well, we have to recognize, and we have it here. Krishna goes on. Gama Vishya cha Bhutani Dharayamya Ahmojasa Pushnami Choshadhihi Sarvaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. Onto the earth I have descended. These are not hollow words. These are words of Krishna which have a meaning. The descent has taken place. Question is, do we recognize it is the question? And the question is not to be asked to somebody else. It has to be asked to us. If we have not recognized it, what is preventing us from recognizing the most obvious? The descent of the divine is there in this Bhuloka, Krishna is saying. And into the material, my spirit has extended. Know me to be Soma, the immortal Lord, and my ambrosia to the medicines and living I accord. I am Soma, the Lord of Amar Tattva, the potency to the medicines. The medical potency to the medicine is by my virtue. That is what the divine Krishna is saying. Soma is also the name of the moon. The moon is connected with the mind and our human bodies also. If we are conscious, we can understand that. They say Chandrama Manaso Jataha. It is the Chandra which allows you to control the mind also. It is the Karaka of the mind, is what they say. My teacher he's from another dharma, but he doesn't probably he has not read all of this Sanatana Dharma, or he doesn't probably follow it also. But he has a child with special needs. Correctly on, he says, I can't sleep. He says, I can't sleep whenever there is Amavasya or wherever there is when full moon and new moon, both times I cannot sleep because that is the time when my child gets hyperactive in the night. And he says, I have correctly observed. And he is not superstitious at all. But he said that was his experience because this is there. Plants, medical potency of plants in Ayurveda, it is said never pluck the plants at night because that is the time the medicinal, these dravyas get more powered or charged. They receive that. So, this aspect of adding medical potency, we can observe it. Maybe some botanist will study the Krebs cycle and identify exactly what is happening in the plant, phytochemical reactions, if you do want to identify whether they are increasing or not. But this has been understood. This is the truth which has been there from the beginning. Krishna says, I into the medicines also. It is said, Oshadi Janavi Toyam Vaidyo Narayano Hari. Oshadi is like Mother Ganga, and Vaidya is like, who knows his medicine is like Narayana himself. It is the water of Ganga is, what is the water of Ganga? It is all purifying for someone who is conscious. For another person, it may be just like water. But for someone who is conscious, it is like that. So the Vaidya also suddenly becomes Narayana for the same conscious patient. Patient becomes Rugna, proper, follow Rugna Dharma. Narayana will come, follow his Dharma, Vaidya. Or the Vaidya becomes that. Many times people are there, they go to the doctor and doctor says, how are you? No, doctor, now I'm feeling good. Because that is the vibe of that doctor, that is the experience. That person you go and you just feel, talk properly and come. Sometimes the opposite also happens. This doctor I've seen, I had one complication, it became multiple complications just after seeing the other person. But this aspect of medical potency, all of this, it is the divine. Many times you've heard of this placebo also, isn't it? Anybody has heard of this? What is the placebo effect? What is a placebo? Clinical trials are also conducted. Placebo trials, they call them. With control. One side is the medicine, other side is. Yes, Vinitaji.
There is
Yes,
no
ma'am.
active ingredient in a placebo, but
Yeah.
the patient feels that he's taken the medicine.
Yes.
So
Have you, you are from the medical field,
I
Vinitaji?
have graduated in pharmacy.
Yeah. Oh, pharmacy. Okay. The active ingredient immediately I could feel that. Yes, yes, absolutely. Despite having no active ingredient, how does it activate and trigger a response? Basically, the immune system has to get awakened, isn't it? That is the most of the medicines, especially for whatever immune related issues are there. Somehow the immune system has to be triggered. No matter how much studies are done in pharmacology, understanding of the immune system is not ever got by anybody. We know that this reaction will trigger something and then that will create awakening. Like it's like somebody sleeping. Somebody pours water, somebody goes and, pokes that person, and that person wakes up, something like that. The job of most medications is that you trigger the immune system. I had a particular skin trouble, which I will not say I had. It keeps coming again and again every year, and I go like I say I have to go to gardener's visit, something like that, and the dermatologist does the cutting, whatever is required. But I went and asked what can be done. And the person asked me, a dermatologist in Jipma, big hospital. She asked me, "Do you believe in God?" I was like, "Yes." You have to pray. You can try praying. I said, really? How will that help? Because I want to understand how is that going to help from your point of view, from your Shastra. He said, basically, I want to trigger the immune system. If it is not working this way, let us try this way. said, okay. Then before going, I said whether I should do it, pray on empty stomach before food or before sleep, whatever doctor is telling me, I have to follow his advice. But this aspect of divinity being present in the Srishti, if we recognize it, we become conscious. The Anubhav is waiting for us. It's actually time we all have to decide, enough threshold has been reached. I have not yet got the Anubhav. It's time I should get the Anubhav. And then after a while, you will say, "Ki Bhagwan bas ho gaya Anubhav. Let me continue. I have got enough now. I'll continue." Let's see now. Krishna goes on, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Life's fire I have thus instilled and sustained, by which the physical body of every being is maintained, controlling the inhalation and exhalation of life energy. The four types of foods I verily digest in synergy. I am the Vaishvanara, the universal fire, fire of what we call Chetana. Fire can also be the fire of Jataragni inside of us. That Agni, probably sometimes when we feel weak and dull and powerless, all we have to do is go quiet into dhyana. That's why it is said pranayam is like a kavach, a recharging point for us. Every day we must try to do it so that we remain full in our energies. Because here Krishna is saying it is my energy that is moving around inside of the human system. I control the inhalation and exhalation, the prana and the apana. Many times, if you become conscious of your own breathing, naturally you start doing pranayama. You don't have to, take some time out. Automatically, when you're just going calm, sometimes people don't get the time. What to do? No, become conscious while you're doing your works. Watch the difference. Watch the difference. Just control your inhalation and exhalation. Krishna is saying, I digest the four types of foods. Now, what are these four types of foods? Anybody? It refers to the way we consume them. In Ayurveda also, it is said that there are foods, or you should have all four types of foods. Meaning the foods that you chew, the foods that you gulp, the foods that you lick, and the swallow also just like that, what like juice and everything. So this Chaturvidha, four types, all these foods also, what happens ultimately? It is digested in the body. When you become conscious, your digestion process also improves. That is why it is said if you become conscious, actually everything is solved. Consciousness is the answer to every problem. But the problem is we don't want to be conscious because of Maya. We don't want to experience and enjoy the rasa of the Leela of the Krishna, or we don't want to experience that Ananda, unfortunately, because we have been programmed to get trapped in Maya. That is why sadhana should be done to undo it. Krishna goes on, he says, I'm there in this Srishti. If you say where, this sloka gives you the exact address with pin code, door number, exact building number, everything. Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hruti sannivishto mattaha smritir jnanam apohanancha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. In every heart that beats, I verily reside. Over every being's memory and knowledge, I preside. I am known by the Vedas, and I am also their knower. And for the Gnostic text, Vedanta, I am the creator. What is Krishna saying? He says he is the creator of the Vedanta. So you can either read the books of the author or directly learn from the author only, isn't it? He says, I have created the Vedanta. Connect with Krishna, maybe create your own Vedanta. You will write an Upanishad. Who knows? Possible, isn't it? Of course, it is possible. Same way, he says, I am known by the Vedas. Study the Vedas, understand who is that great Veda, Deva of the Veda. Whom will you understand? You will understand that being who knows all the Vedas, that is the divine only. So this way or that way, the destination is one only, is what Krishna is saying. And this divine is present. Where is he present? Present in the hearts, governing over the smriti, governing over the jnana. Somebody says, I don't believe this. How is he sitting in my heart? Just if we look back, now we have studied the Gita, isn't it? We have come into what is the 15th adhyaya of the Gita, means we are closer to the completion of the Gita. But even those who are reading for the first time, don't you feel Krishna is telling something we already know a little bit? Somewhere inside of the heart, this is something, this is right. This is how it should be, or this was correct. Don't we feel that? How many of us, anybody who is reading for the first time? Yes? Okay, Vinataji says yes. Okay, Geetaji also. So, okay, Dr. Vidishaji also says the same thing. But somewhere it seems like you're familiar with it. It's like if you make me sit into a French class, I will be like, what's going on? Or Spanish class. I'll not understand anything because I don't have any base for it. I have not learned. I don't know the language. But here it's somewhere we feel we already know. Vasundharaji also said first time. Somewhere we feel we are connecting because we are connecting on a higher level. Higher level from where? From the heart only. And who is sitting in the heart? It is the divine. So if you are feeling that, you can understand Krishna is just smiling and saying, yeah, I told you. I'm there inside. That is exactly what is the aspect of the Gita. The Gita must arise from within. I talked about this Bahina Bai Chaudhary, isn't it? Her story. She said Saraswati, she got the experience of Gita. She says, Panduranga, for me, Gita came out from the soil while she was working in the fields. She would say the rustling of the leaves, no, in the trees. That is telling the coming and going of the God. I can see, you've come and you've gone. And for my sake, especially for me, oh, what Drupa, Bhagavad Gita came from the soil. How is it possible? Of course, it is possible. Experience, it will come. But for that, heart must be awakened. Heart must beat, or you must listen to your heart. Unfortunately, through life experiences, we get bad experiences and we say, enough, I'll never listen to the heart again. And then that becomes the biggest problem. Krishna is like, Arey, what? Nobody is listening to me now. But then we feel sad. We don't experience the joy. Here, connect because he says he's present there. Krishna goes on. Not even really. That is why Vedas, Upanishads, all of this, they are not so far away. When are they not far away? When with sincerity you are holding on to the feet of your Aradhya, feet of your Guru, or your divine, sitting in your heart. That is enough. Hanuman was asked, isn't it? Sita Maya and Sri Ram, where are they? He says, yes, they are here. And he gives the darshana to someone that, yes, they are in my heart. This symbolic aspect is also having a great metaphysical principle. Connect and experience. I can truly assure you, after the Gita studying, if you really want to aspire to enter into the Upanishadic realm, you cannot enter into Upanishads without Guru Diksha, it is said, because it is Brahma Vidya's kingdom. Recognize the divine sitting in your heart. He will give you the Diksha, he will take you, but you will have to be like Ekalavya then. Very sincere, fully. Upanishads also will not be so far away. You'll say, oh, acha, this is there in the Gita. That is why they call Gita Upanishad only, no? Gita Upanishad. They say Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopala Nandana. All the Upanishads are like cows. Krishna is that milker. Who is that calf who is getting the Gita Amrita? That is Arjuna. We have to become that. So let us see. Krishna goes on. He says, Dvavimau Purushau Loke Sharaschakshara Evacha Shara Sarvani Bhutani Kutasthoksara Uchyate. In the universe, there are two forms of manifestation. One indestructible, while the other attains destruction. In all living things is found the form destructible. but seated high above them is the form imperishable. Means one side is the Kshara. There are two aspects in this Vishwa. One is called the Kshara, the other is the Akshara. Akshara is that which cannot be cut, that which cannot be destroyed, and the other is which can be destroyed. Human beings, we form belong to which category? Shara or Akshara?
Akshar.
Akshara, Vedaji says. We want to be Akshara.
We can be cut, no?
Yes, Vinataji? Yeah?
We can be cut, no?
Yeah, so we are Kshara,
So
no?
Kshara is okay, sorry.
Aha,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sure.
Yes, yes. We are Kshara because we ultimately, what is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi? I am here today, tomorrow I will not be there. Why? This is the Satya. What is the Satya? This is the Mrityu Bhumi also, no? This Bhuloka. So this is the truth. But what about our spirit?
That is Akshara.
That is Akshara. The purity, the love, what we can say, ideas. Sometimes, you see, like my friend lost his mother at a very young age when he was in school. That's like so long ago. But today also she is with him. How is it possible? And that is a beautiful sacred relation, isn't it? The child and the mother. Like that, there are so many sacred relations of love. There are sacred relations of the divine. All of these among siblings, that one beautiful relation. So that spirit aspect which is there, no, that is Akshara, and that is actually coming directly from the divine. So Krishna says two forms are there in this world, Kshara and the Akshara. In living things is found the form destructible, but seated high above them is the form imperishable. Uttamah Purushastvanyah Paramatye Paramatme Tyudahritah यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्तव्यय ईश्वरः. Apart from the Shara and Akshara, there is still something else, Krishna says. Apart from these two is the spirit highest. Of all manifestations, it is considered greatest. Entering existence, this supreme self latent exists. All three worlds, this divine being uplifts. So there is something which is even beyond these limits. Both are limits also, Shara and Akshara. There is something which is inconceivable, which is beyond that limits, and that is the highest, the supreme divine. We can call it the Purusha. That is beyond these limits of Shara and Akshara. That Purusha is holding together the three worlds, the three lokas also. But is latent, is hidden, quietly existing inside everybody. Krishna goes on, Yasmat aksharam atito aham aksharadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vede cha prathitaha purushottamaha. So they are recognizing those who have understood the Vedas. Those who have understood the Vedas, and if you study the Vedas, are also telling the same thing. Is what are they talking about? They are talking about that supreme Purushottama, the Uttama one, the supreme Purusha. Who is that? Krishna says, it is I. He says, as I am beyond the manifestations, perishable, transcendent, and surpassing even the imperishable. The Vedas and the world together proclaim, I am the Supreme Self. They exclaim, meaning the realized ones and the Vedas, they talk about the same truth. What is that? Aham Brahmasmi, Soham Asmi, Swatma Ramoham. I am that existence. That existence. The I is referring to not the individual I of the ego, of the limited Shara individual. It is like the drop is suddenly realizing oneness with the ocean. The drop is also water only, isn't it? But a small boundary trying to stay away from the Supreme One. But when the drop merges into the ocean, what happens? The drop also is vast, all powerful, what we can say, great, supreme, just like that. That is that supreme consciousness. That is why the great realized ones have said all of this, said these what we call the Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi, Soham Asmi. Why are they called Mahavakyas? Because these are the Vakyas which will allow us to recognize the inherent greatness, not on the level of ego, not on the level of sentiments, not emotional only, a realization of divinity. This is this must be God. It is the aspiration we should all have. Let me realize that I too am divine. The Isha Upanishad also tells the same thing. So many times I keep giving references because I think Isha Upanishad is just, perfectly. After Gita, you study Isha Upanishad, it's more fun because you will see so many differences and so many similarities. All of them become very common. First, you see, yatte kalyantamam tatte pashyami, all that is brilliant, all that is bright, beautiful, all that is having the teja, the purity, all that is right, all that is perfect. There you recognize the divine. That is what the first experience is asked. By whom? By already realized yogi. Who is he asking? With Shraddha to the Supreme Deva. Which Deva? That time he's called Pushan. Pushan is who? Nourisher, nourisher of all living beings. Again, who we call it Prajapati, we call him Krishna, we can call it any name we want to say. So that divine is first asked to give me the strength to recognize what? Same thing that is found in the Gita, isn't it? Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Let me realize the oneness in the world. Before giving me Vishwarupa, let me see the Vibhuti Darshana. So first realization of divinity in the world, because the moment you turn your eyes away from the world, you stop recognizing the divinity, you are not going to get the realization. You have gone into what they call avidya. You have gone into the wrong direction of ignorance. So here the first aspect is told, yatte kalyanatamam. What is brilliant? Let me recognize. So that what? Next part is Soham Asmi, the Sakshatkar. Let me get that Sakshatkar after that. Because of realizing this, then I will also realize Soham Asmi, and that is where the Upanishad reaches to the highest pedestal. Sri Aurobindo has beautifully described what they call four moments in this Upanishad. If you study them, there's actually a beautiful way to study the Upanishads also. If you can understand how, because each Upanishad offers you a code and a secret. Isha Upanishad's code is in the first verse only. Isha Vasyam Vidam Saram. That's why the name also became Isha Upanishad. So like that, different texts have it. So this next realization, I am the Supreme Self. That is what the awakened ones proclaim. They recognize, they say, yes, the divine is there. That's why they do that stuti. Yo mameva sammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhave na bharatam. What happens to the person who has now recognized that, yes, divine is the most supreme? Anybody? What will happen when you recognize the divine is there? There is God, there is a divine. What will be your next?
Surrender.
Surrender
Surrender.
and adore. No, you'll adore the divinity, isn't it? You will adore the divinity everywhere. तारीफ करूं क्या उसकी जिसने उसको बनाया means you see beauty and you immediately say, oh wow, the creator must be so brilliant who created this, isn't it? It is natural that you will start adoring, you will start worshipping, and that is what Krishna is saying. My gnosis complete means who has realized God is full stop. God is what? What is how many feet height? What is his weight? What is nothing? We don't need to know. God is full stop. Finished. I've realized the presence of God, and so it is very natural that I will do a stuti of the divine. I will sing paeans. I'll sing bhajans. I'll sing hymns. They'll come naturally. Why will they come? Because I have understood it. My gnosis complete. He who has attained myself as a supreme self, he who has ordained. He loves me with everything. He has, in every way, as per his own nature. He adores me every day. What happens when you have very little and you see somebody you care a lot about, or you see someone you love a lot? What will you do? Oh, that person is coming, let me hide it, keep it inside. Or you say, Chalo, theek hai, this is all right, let me offer it, isn't it? This is a beautiful flower, let me offer it. Ganesh Chaturthi, one small child came and in the Krishna's butter class, the mother shared a photo. This child has kept a car in front of Ganesha. Now we were all a little, okay, what is it? Or sometimes people who are very orthodox, they get insulted. So we wanted to know, is there a problem or are they happy? No, turned out to be parents who are very good, nice only. So they said, we asked the child, instead of getting angry, why did you keep your toy in the there? Why did you keep this car? The child said, no, Ganesh Chaturthi has come. No, Ganesha has come. If he wants to travel across the city, he should have a car, so I gave the car. Now, what is this? Is it against Shastra? It is against the Vidhis? Not at all, not at all. It is absolutely in the light of Shastra. Mushaka Vahana, they say, no, Ganesha. What logic? Why should Ganesha get a Vahan of Mushaka? Why can he not get a Garuda, or why can he get a huge Vahan? Why does he have to give it? It's all metaphysical. It has to be understood from that perspective, not just literal sense. The deeper meaning must be understood, and that child had perfectly understood that was bhakti and that adoration was flowing. Had anybody dared, no? Ganesha is the father of all tantric vidyas. He would have given the biggest punishment for anybody who had come in between that bhakti also of that balaka. So this is somebody who loves the divine, adores the divine, whichever way, whichever way. There's a story of a juggler. This guy only knew juggling. He did not know how to say a prayer. One day he thought life is going good, thanks to God's grace. But I have never really had, every time I'm just, making ends meet. I have never really got the chance to go to a temple. I have not got a chance to say thank you. So he goes happily immediately to the temple. But after going there, he realized I did not learn any prayer. Now what should I do? But I want to say a prayer. So he said, I know only juggling. Let me do juggling in front of my Aradhya. So what does he do? He starts juggling. But now what happens? He gets into the intensity of sadhana. So he tries to do the most difficult and difficult tricks one after the other. He keeps raising his standards, which he has never raised before. What happens then? Human limitation, no? Somewhere he misses, and then those pins fall on his head, and he feels faint and he falls down. That time, one elderly person comes to him, touches his head quietly, takes care of him, and then he makes him say, "No, no, are you hurt?" He says, "No, no, 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 sir, I'm just little bit, I'm having pain." Yeah, yeah, all right, it will become all right. And that person touches his head, and really the pain is, gone to some extent. And then he gets up and, oh, what did I do? Here also I spoiled it. Like, I tried to just go to pray. Here also I just, made a clown of myself. It's all right. He thought he'll go outside. So while he was going, he saw the priest. That time he said, priest, please tell that old man thank you. He said, which old man? He said, no, that old man who came to look after me. He said, there was no old man. I have been standing here from the beginning. No old man came in or went out. Now, who was that? How? What was his shock? But that was an experience. And I've actually met a person called Mr. Manimaran. He's a very well-known person in Tamil Nadu. The former late CM even Jayalalitha had honored him. A young man who saw somebody lying on the street with leprosy. Nobody was taking care. Born in a village, not having enough, for himself. But he said, if nobody is taking care, what's the use? I should do something. And he started. That became his mission that day when he saw. We tell no, the inner being suddenly awakens. It awakened and he's like, why nobody is taking care? I will take care. He went through a lot of hell. He went through a lot of hell and police started harassing him because sometimes some were too sick. And sometimes by the time he reached there, they will pass away and then the case would go on him. Then he was barred saying you are not allowed to nurse the wounds because you don't have the degree. But nobody is taking care. He is going and doing what we can say humanity, but he says you cannot do. So what did he do? He got a degree in correspondence and he continued his journey. So his story, what he shared when he came to meet, he met Damleji also. And he said, I remember somebody looking at you. I was very interested to know what was his story. He said he had gone to the north near Ganga. There, somebody belonging from a particular different caste had passed away, and nobody was giving the last rites. He got again. He is what we can say. I asked him once, how is it sadhana? He said, service is my sadhana. That's a simple answer in Tamil, only one. He doesn't talk too much. But he said, this is not right. I have to do something. So he gave the Antim Kriya for that person. I mean, it's a normal thing, isn't it? There's a right thing to do. But the locals there got angry with him and they beat him up. And after beating, they put him, put him by the river only. He was lying there in the water. And his same experience, like I talked to you about the juggler, no, he told about that experience which he got. Somebody came, gave him a small vial of some medicine, and that person had even asked him. He had asked him about what are you doing, everything. Acha, here, take this. He said, what is this? Skeptical mind, no? He said, my mind was also skeptical. What is he giving me? He said, if you get hurt, you can use it. It will help healing. He didn't understand that. I do not know, because language also was a barrier, but he could understand by bhava what he's saying. But he showed his hand like, you are still doubting me, aren't you? He shook his head, so he pulled his hand and he scratched on his hand and then immediately applied that medicine. After a while, that did heal for him. And he says he used to use little that medicine he would use every time when the cases are worst, no? So that time he had almost run out of that medicine. That time he met Ramliji, and that time he remembered that story. So this aspect, we have to feel the love. The Shraddha must come. It is not Andha Shraddha. Andha Shraddha cannot be there only. Andha Vishwas can be there. But Shraddha cannot be blind. Our personal faith, everything they can shake. I had faith in this person, this person broke my faith. It's all right. But Shraddha is beyond faith also. Shraddha is what they call utter. It will not shake, it will not move at all. And that is important. When you have that, it is natural. You will adore the divine and you will not feel any fear at all. Because you are sincerely offering to the divine. Can you be worried? Will the divine get angry? If the divine gets angry, the divine is Rajasic. No. Isn't it? We have learned in Gita. Krishna has said, Bhagavan is all beyond the gunas. He is gunatit. It is going to get simply when Shraddha is there, there is sincerity, there is nothing wrong in the aspiration also. There, that love will flow. You will start offering whichever way. Krishna, that is why he says, no, in the Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Whatever you offer a leaf, you offer a flower, you offer a fruit, or even a cup of water. Cup of water is offered to a stranger also, not just the Aradhya or Maharaja or Supreme Divine. No, any human being will offer. But he says, what should be there in that love? If it is there, it is complete. So this aspect of Krishna is telling this. It's like he offers, means you have to ordain the presence of the divine. Ganesh Chaturthi, we do something called Prana Pratishtha, isn't it? Anybody is aware of this word or term called Prana Pratishtha? Anyone? Yes? Anyone can tell something about it? Anybody?
Invoking the divine.
Ashwati ji, Dr. Ashwati is saying invoking the divine. Okay.
Yeah.
Where is it done generally?
You bring the Murti
In
who
the
comes
sanctum,
Yeah, I'll come to you, Nitaji. Yes, Dr. Ashwati, you were saying in the
or like in the main temple.
in the temples,
Sanctum.
Garbhagriha. Yes, in the
Yeah,
Garbhagriha.
Garbhas. Yeah.
Yeah, there. Then what happens? The Murti becomes the Chitralji has written to make the deity alive. The Murti then becomes a Vigraha. Supreme Court also has recognized rights of an awakened It's no more a murti, it's a vigraha with having all its rights as an individual. That is the beauty of our system also. We recognize the divinity also. So yes, now in the Garbhagriha, who can do? Can you and I do it in the Garbhagriha? No. There it has to be done because that place, every kshetra has the rule of the kshetra, that has to be followed, isn't it? But say in the homes, when you are having this Ganesh Chaturthi, can the householder also do that? Prana Pratishtha can be done or not? If the person knows the Kriya, if the person does it, yes or no? Anybody knows the story of Ekalavya? Ekalavya did a Prana Pratishtha sort of Kriya only, isn't it? In the Murti of his Guru. What did he do? He created the consciousness of his Guru and he kept learning from the Murti. Whether or not the Guru wanted to teach is a different story. He learned because he created that consciousness of the divine and inside of his Guru became there and lovingly he got all the wisdom directly. So it is like this prana pratishtha is a kriya which makes somebody conscious or which makes you are able to consciously ordain the presence of the divine. You are able to establish the presence of the divine. It can be done, we have seen in objects, yes or no? Sometimes it is done by certain gurus. They do awakening in a rudraksha and then they give it to the shishya. Somebody does it in another kind of stone. Some use some different places. People do that, isn't it? So this shows that pratishtha can be done at different places and more conscious, the greater the whatever medium is there, the more powerful the pratishtha is. Like they say, copper is most receptive. There's a peacock feathers are considered more special because there you can easily they'll have the greater sanskara. What about human beings? We are also conscious or not? We are more conscious than metals and stones, isn't it? Yes or no? One question is, can we do prana pratishtha of the divine inside of ourselves? Touch our heart. He is there only, isn't it, in the Hridaya? And can we try that? Henceforth, divine is residing inside of my heart. I have become conscious of the auspicious presence within me. I have become conscious of that auspiciousness inside of me. And henceforth, I will continue to understand and recognize this. Is it possible? Or somebody says, I know, no need, then I'll not have to do all the wrong things which I'm doing. No, I think it's possible. It is possible. It is possible. And Krishna is talking about the same thing where we suddenly, because otherwise we get trapped. We get trapped in Maya. Suddenly, brilliant people suddenly start feeling they are not auspicious. Brilliant people feel they are nothing. I'm not capable. Oh no, I'm a bad luck. I'm saying I'm talking about my own experience only. I was having a period where I thought I am only the source of bad luck for my teacher only. I thought because of my presence only all wrong is happening. These are all thoughts. These are all games of the mind. For that, at least let us awaken the friend inside of our hearts. No, then you are ready. You are ready to face the world also. That strength will never leave you. So this is something because otherwise we get trapped easily, and I think that's the best thing to do. If we want to become conscious, let us become conscious of that divine presence. Krishna is saying, Rudhi, in the Hridaya, he is there. He is there. So then you also must care and you must think of that divine and you must become conscious. So it is a great companion to have also. You'll never feel alone. You'll always have, it's always good to have company, isn't it? And this is one company which, when you start getting the experience, there are perks of some friendships or not. We enjoy it. No, friendship is always a special thing. When you have divine friendship, nothing greater than that. So this we must remember because this is a important aspect Krishna has told in this adhyaya. It starts off with the Ashwatha Vriksha, which is upside down, which makes no sense, no head or tail. How is this Ashwatha Vriksha? But from there again, this adhyaya becomes interestingly practical, and we get a lot of inputs on how we can do. And Krishna is calling this aspect, means the one who recognizes the presence of the divine, one who has ordained the divine. Naturally, from the heart of that, from the mouth, only stuti will flow, the prayers will come out, it will happen naturally. Great expressions, great creativity, great art, great talents, everything will start manifesting. Why? That is the job of the divine only. Dadami buddhi yogam, he says, I will give you wisdom. You don't have it? That is why I'm going to give you. If you had it, I would not have given you. So we have to first recognize the presence. So this is important. And Krishna in the last adhyaya, he says, Iti, in the last shloka, in the 15th adhyaya, he says, Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya nakha etad buddhva buddhimanasyat krutakrutyascha bharata. He's saying, oh Arjuna, the cryptic wisdom, thus I have declared to you, O Arjuna, I have unveiled and shared the secret wisdom, the cryptic wisdom. It's actually a secret which is an open secret. Nobody is looking at it. It's so out in the open if we realize it. But because of Maya, we cannot see, and that's why Krishna has to hammer it again and again. Didn't Arjuna suddenly feel the great, powerful hero who is so skilled? He's a champion, isn't it? He's the best. Nobody could be like him. It was declared already that there cannot be a better person than him. But such a powerful person also in Moha, in Maya, some attachment or the other, this is makes a person forget their strength. So this Arjuna also forgot. He forgot that he is divine. He started thinking about all Papa, what is the sorrow, look at this, what has happened to me, Krishna. It was a very sorry plight to watch Arjuna in almost tears, isn't it? It's always sad when a hero who is so powerful suddenly becomes weak, no? But then only a powerful person can feel weak, no? A weak person will feel weak only all the time. So there's nothing new, change of status quo. But here status quo happens. So at all moments when we feel that, when we feel weakness coming in, we get so many places, directions. Many times depressive thoughts come. Many times some sorrow comes from somewhere. Suddenly situation in life only comes in such a way that tries to shake us. That time we have to hold on, because those who have been able to hold on, they have been driven by the divine. They have gone ahead into the higher knowledge. That is what Krishna is saying. He says, this occult secret, by knowing and understanding, one attains the highest enlightenment possible to the living. It's interesting that the highest enlightenment was never so easy. Just recognize the divine, establish not just mentally, not just emotionally. Realize the presence of the divine. Krishna is saying, when you realize that, then he says, all the knowledge in the world is yours. So with this, we conclude what is 15th adhyaya. So we then go into the next 16th adhyaya, which is interesting, which is about Devi and Asuri Swabhava, divine and demonic traits. Again, in children's batches, everybody's siblings are only demonic and they are divine. That is what they say. But this is again not for calling people, this is he is divine or she is divine. Already people don't say this person is divine. They only say this person is demonic. First thing, that person is negative vibe, Asuri person only. Well, it's not for that. It's for understanding the play of forces in the Bhuloka. Who knows? We might have a Asura like Prahlad. We will like him, isn't it? We don't want Hiranyakashipu, but we want some titans. Sri Aurobindo has also said, Asurasya Udyamam Shakti Dehi. Give me that strength of the Asura. Why don't we want strength? We need that strength, but we need the wisdom of the Deva also. So the gunas of the Deva and the Shakti of the Asura, that must be understood. So let us see next chapter afterwards. So can someone summarize something that we saw? We completed this adhyay. Yes. Anybody? Then we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. If anybody has any queries, you are most welcome to ask them. Yes, anybody? I'll tell it 3 times. Generally, I have to say 3 times. Then anybody, anybody. Okay, yeah, Manisha ji. Thank you. Yes, ji.
We should sincerely seek. Am I audible?
Yes, ji. Yes, ji. You are audible. Yeah.
Sincerely, we should be seeking to serve the divine. Um, but whom the truth is unknown. But to whom the truth is unknown, that the ignorant have never gone beyond, who have never gone beyond the full of indriyas, will not be able to
Yes, madam. Yes, ji.
realize the divine.
Ji.
Then the Gayatri mantra. That's the Gayatri mantra, which states that I am powering the light. I am the light of illumination through the realization of Gayatri mantra. We can,
Yes,
which reveals that I'm the powering the light. And if we can perceive the divine light in the Surya,
okay.
we actually can realize Gayatri mantra.
Okay.
That's the divine light in Surya. Then the 13th shloka recognize the descent of the divine in Bhuloka. I am the Soma. That's the medical potency in the Soma is by my virtue. That's by Krishna's virtue.
Ji.
14th shloka about Jatharagni. Um,
I'm the Vaishwanara.
Through pranayama, we if we control the inhalation and exhalation, then we will be able to do a conscious digestion.
Yeah. Yes.
That is about the 4 types of food, which food is categorized in 4 parts, which are supposed to be eaten, sucked,
Lick.
drink it, and lick it. So these are the 4 types of food which has been categorized.
Yes. Just one moment, Manisha ji. So this, when we become conscious, we'll be able to do it better. But even if we are not conscious, it does happen, no? The function of the divine takes place in all of this. In our, the Vaishwanara is functioning everywhere.
It's functioning,
Yes.
but
Ji.
if we are conscious, then
It becomes better. Probably you become
better.
more, yeah, you become more, what we can say.
Receptive. We become
Yeah.
more receptive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ji. Yes.
Krishna is the creator of the Vedas, and I am in the heart. Krishna is in the heart, governing the Smriti and Jnana. So, if we for Diksha, in order to progress in the path of spirituality, we recognize the divine in our heart for Diksha. Like we'll be able to progress in a better way. There are 2 aspects of the world. One is the Shara and Akshara. Shara, the destructible, and Akshara, which cannot be destroyed, which is the spirit and imperishable spirit. And in the 17th shloka, beyond the limits of Shara and Akshara is the Purusha, who's quietly existing inside us and holding the 3 world. 18th, Aham Brahmasmi. We can proclaim the one can proclaim if the I, who's the realized one, and the Vedas together. The I, the realized one, and the Vedas together is can proclaim the Aham Brahmasmi. That's a realization of what is the all. First,
Yes.
we realize all what is brilliant. Thereafter, it
Yes,
can be
Manisha ji.
Brahmasmi.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So just like the ones who have recognized the supreme authority of the divine. And that is why they say Soham Asmi or Tattvam Asi or Aham Brahmasmi. That realization comes after they first recognize the divine. That
Yes.
I am the self is also referring to, we can call it The Tattvamasi also, more accurate it would be. Then the Aham Brahmasmi realization is the second Sakshatkar. First realization is you are that.
You are that.
Yes.
Then we should adore the divinity after realization of divinity. That's the adoration follows once we realize the divinity. Then last, Mr. Krishna proclaims that I've revealed the secret wisdom. Because of Maya, it's still a secret. Otherwise, it's like Krishna has been revealing it to us again and again. And so we should realize the presence of the divine and be enlightened.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Manishali. Thank you for the beautiful summary. This establishment is important. Establishment of the divine. Ki Chalo, yes, is there. Which better place to establish than in our heart, isn't it? Sometimes we establish the presence of divine in photos. Sometimes we establish in murti. Sometimes we establish in some mementos which we get from somebody and we connect with some consciousness there. But that has a limitation. No, sometimes you don't carry it around. My friend would, he would want to use swear words, he will keep the photo down, use the swear words, then again keep it back. As if keeping that down is going to turn the divine away or suddenly mute button has been pressed and nothing is going to be heard. But this is if you concentrate on the divine's presence, no, at all times. There's nothing to be. What is there to hide? Can we hide anything from the divine truth? I have these feelings, I want to keep them hidden from the divine. Will the divine knows it or not? Your heart's innermost feelings. Divine already knows it. You can't, can fool everybody in the world.
But
Yes,
but your friend actually believes that divine is in that photo. That itself is
that is a Shraddha. No, that is a Shraddha. That was something
he's
which was
believing it completely.
yeah, yes. At least not in front. At least I don't want him to see me use these words. So he's keeping the photo down. I actually saw that. It was very funny. But that shows his Shraddha also, isn't it? But now that is still conditional, no, in some places. And non-functional. But if you want to use a swear word and you feel it is a divine Adesh and it is a instruction of Krishna, then you do it in front of him only. But I don't think he will give that instruction. It is only the lower nature or Rajas generally which gives that. So with this, but strong words, sharp words, Krishna has instructed many times to say that also. Only not driven by Rajasic force. He uses that for Arjuna also. No? When Arjuna is feeling all emotional and fallen down, he says, Klaibyam masma gamaha partha, naitat tvaya upapadyate, shudram hridaya daurbalyam. He says, yield not to this importance of action. Don't be an important person in action, O Kshatriya. Stand up. So now that is like what we can say, semi-swear word. But that is for him to realize. So that aspect is there. So means the message is like there's no moment where the divine is not. So let's stop hiding things from the divine. Let's stop because this is a very big, what we can say, pitfall in sadhana also. We compartmentalize our life. This becomes sadhana. This is non-sadhana time. Non-sadhana time, I can do anything I want. But that does not affect here is what we feel. It's not like that. That's why Sri Aurobindo has said all life is yoga. So it is something like that. Internal marks मिले ही नहीं और external marks ज़्यादा मिले तो भी problem हो जाता है ना. You need good both. So something like that. So with this we conclude with the Shanti mantra. After which if anybody has any query, you are welcome. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम yes if any queries are there you are welcome
Yeah, I didn't understand this. In 16th, imperishable, and in 17th, spirit highest. What is the difference between the two?
the
Perishable
seventh
is the highest one.
1 second
Form imperishable in 16th.
No, in 16th is that imperishable, and 17th one is the
17th it is
uh,
same, but they
yes.
both should be same.
Param Purusha. Param Purusha is said to be beyond what is perishable and non-perishable. Means Param Purusha is, if you see, I think you remember Purusha and Prakriti, Aditi. Purusha was latent, isn't it? Purusha was not, oh, it was not Vyakta also, isn't it? Purusha is in this consciousness, in the supreme Ananda. Who was Vyakta? Prakriti. Prakriti was perishable or imperishable?
Perishable.
No, Prakriti was imperishable. Prakriti was also imperishable like the Purusha. But in Prakriti, there were perishable objects. Human beings perishable, all life forms going through Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. But the partner was
Purush.
of the Purusha was Prakriti. So one analogy we can, some people draw this in interpretation, that there is one is the Kshara and other is the Akshara. Akshara is that which is not destroyed. Prakriti can be called Akshara. But higher than Kshara, higher than Akshara is that supreme Purusha. Purusha is the supreme most existence. It has not yet come into the definition of the limits. No. One is one end. One is one end. Perishable is one end. The other end of the spectrum is imperishable. But this supreme being has not entered into the spectrum only. I am beyond all of it. I am encompassing everything. That is where that is said to be the supreme most existence.
So can we correlate it to our senses, mind, intellect, and Atma, that anywhere there?
How do you want to correlate it, Aditi?
Like Atma is that self, the
Okay.
highest one, or still
Atma can.
intellect is imperishable. Is there a correlation or?
Acha, that is interesting. If you see, Buddhi is coming from the Prakriti only, isn't it? Mana is connected with the Indriyas. And that's an interesting correlation. Can be done, possible. Yes, what you have said is not.
In that imperishable is what?
You can
Intellect.
call it the no, Atman. Atman is means which is beyond, isn't it? The supreme most is Atman,
And
Saha.
what would be the imperishable?
Next is Buddhi.
Okay.
Buddhi is the next stream of consciousness.
And it is imperishable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here Krishna says no. Buddhi jnanam apohanancha. I am the presider. I am presiding over one's buddhi. I am presiding over one's jnana also. The intellect, mind, everything. Even if you see, Sri Aurobindo has described a spectrum of regions beyond the mind only.
Okay.
Means me know up to mind. What is higher than the mind? There's something called higher mind. There is something called there's physical mind also. Then there is something beyond the physical mind. Physical mind is that connection between like mind and the indriyas. No, that link is there. Then when you go slightly beyond the physical mind, there are what we call the glimpses of intuition which start coming into play. There's something called intuitive mind. There's something called over mind. If it goes on, we'll say don't mind because there's supermind also afterwards. Supermind is said to be the highest. That is what Sri Aurobindo talked about, manifesting of supramental consciousness. When that consciousness manifests, each of us will have like the best 5G network, something like that. Absolutely connection with that divine. The consciousness flow will take place at all times. But that is the next stage of evolution. We also have a next stage of evolution, not only devices. Human beings also are evolving. So that will come. That time will come. We get glimpses of different people, different, where we see suddenly, how is this is something indicating of something which is happening. That will come. The time will come there. That time our battles will be different, not like bombing taking place one side here in Lebanon, here he's bombing, one is counter bombing. These will be different wars. They'll be fought on a different level. And that will then be for a new realization, for an understanding of oneness. But I think we're still quite far away from that. Yes, Ji. All right, Ji. Hari Om. Namaskar.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om, Ji. If no queries, I'll continue.